Hello and welcome. If you're new to my channel and later find you enjoy this video, please be aware that this isn't what I normally do. You might see the Gavels in the channel title and think, okay, this guy takes big issues and makes a legal style judgment on the conclusion of his vids, but no, that's not the case. Just to be aware, if you visit the back catalogue, it's almost entirely comedy. If you're not new to the channel, hi, welcome back. I'm sorry it's been nearly 5 years since I uploaded something. I'll make a separate video to explain what's going on there. And for both sets of you, I'm going to make a King Solomon style judgment at the end of this video. It is a serious one. If anyone doesn't know, King Solomon was petitioned by 2 women who each swore that this baby was theirs. King Solomon declared, cut the baby in half and they can have half each. Immediately one of the women cried out, no, it's hers, she can have it. And this is how King Solomon found out which of the 2 women was the real mother. Alright, let's get on with it. This is Dylan Mulvaney. I'm sure almost everyone is aware of Dylan, especially if you clicked on the title of this vid.
What physical attribute am I most attracted to? Is it great legs? No. Is it a strong jawline? Close. Drum roll. It's a person's smile. It can make or break a crush for me. I mean, I want to be able to be silly and laugh and smile for hours a day with someone. It's day 268 of being a girl, and it's a pretty big day in my opinion. Booby drum roll. I'm trying on my first pair of hoop earrings. Ah!
It's a she-they outfit of the day.
Get ready with me. I'm going to the Elton John concert tonight, and ASOS has challenged me to style this dress. So let's do it. This dress is everything. It's everything.
That is joy. That is real joy in Dylan's vid there. Whether you think Dylan is a troll, an actor, or the real thing, almost everyone can agree. She's likeable. And yeah, I'm happy to call Dylan she. I would do it out of politeness in Dylan's company, so I'll do it here as well. Part of Dylan's likability is the way she expresses and shares that joy with her viewers.
Here comes the bride. Oh, wow. I'm getting a little emotional. Growing up, I never thought I'd be able to get married, let alone wear a wedding dress. Oh, I love it. I feel like a princess. Next.
Whether you think Dylan's trans status is real or not, the joy she's showing is definitely real. This level of joy here for a new wig, a new dress, makeup, whatever, I would never want to take that away from Dylan. Not from anyone, especially when they're so good at sharing that joy. 3 million viewers enjoy Dylan's content. Trans viewers are inspired while other types of viewers are entertained. Dylan literally makes the world a better place. But it's not all fun and games for the trans community. This is Dylan having her feelings hurt.
Day 271 of being a girl, or I'll say woman for this one, because this video is for the women on Twitter who just really don't like me. You know, you might not like me, but I care about you. I care about your feelings. I care about your opinion of me, which I'm really trying to get over. And the last thing I will say, and this will probably make you feel really good, is that I'm jealous of you. You know, I wish I was born in your body. I wish I had a uterus. You know, my sex assigned at birth was a biological male. Does that make you feel better hearing me say that? It's just not what God had in mind. So here I am. You know, there's probably a lot of women that you don't like to group yourself with, but they're still women. And so am I. And now it feels like high school, and it feels like you want me to experience the pain and trauma that you've had to endure as a girl. And the fact that here I am, you know, attempting to enjoy womanhood is incomprehensible to you. You know, whether it's that I carry tampons, that I'm too feminine, or I call myself a girl, or that I'll never birth a child, well, here's some more good news for you. I'm not enjoying my womanhood as much as I was. And my pain might be different than your pain, but it's very real. So if that was your goal, then congrats. But I'm still a woman, and I'm tired, and we don't have to be BFFs, and you don't have to follow me. Just please don't call the police on me if we bump into each other in the bathroom. You know, my only agenda is to try to find the will to wake up every day and find some ounce of happiness.
What Dylan is describing there, that level of anguish just trying to make it through the day, that's a common feeling among trans people. According to a 2020 study, 82% of transgender individuals have considered killing themselves, and 40% have tried to do it. We also know that suicide rates do not change for trans people after they've had reassignment surgery. What we don't know is why the suicide rate is so high. Some of the more obvious frontrunners are feeling out of place, rejected by society, bullied, that these might be the primary causes. This is Samantha Lux. She's attractive by any standard. Sometimes she posts fun sort of videos, seeing people's reactions to the news that she's trans, or using a deep voice to provoke that reaction. She's 4 years post-op and actually has to put in effort to make a deeper sounding voice. If you ever wondered what stunning and brave actually looked like, I would say this is it.
Oh my God! God, 10-year-old dick! Thank you for being there! Time! Please!
Hi everyone. Y'all okay? I'm what? Yikes. Thank you. Okay, bye. It's funny because before you hit time, you can't like leave, so you just have to wait for the time to run out. Hey, what's up?
You're sexy.
Thank you.
Hey, wait, on time.
Me? Why?
But damn. Oh, Lord.
Hi, what's up? What's up, dude? I don't even know what to say anymore. People's facial reactions is literally like, it's enough for me. What's up, dude? How you doing? What? What's wrong? He was so disappointed. He's like, oh, fucking shit, man. I fell for it again. Either that or he knew he was gonna be on YouTube, so he was like, I gotta be nice. Gotta look cute. He was nice, I'll give him that.
Oh my God.
Hey, what's up?
What the fuck? Oh God.
What? Wait, what? Literally, what happened? Did I say something? I literally just said hi. I'm doing good. What's wrong? What are you guys laughing about? Okay. The kid in the back was like, they got a whole dick. Not anymore, sweetheart. Link above. I just got skipped.
Oh no, she real. Look how fine she is.
Me? Thank you so much. It's so nice.
Oh my God.
Ah, did I get you? Did I fool your ass? I'm fucking kidding. What's up, guys? How you doing?
Good. You still don't really either which way. It don't matter. You a female regardless.
Period. Thank you, bitch. Have a good night.
I went on a real journey watching these. I don't know how she had the nerve to do this time and time again. Unfortunately, I see the reaction both ways. I understand it. I get that the guys in these vids feel tricked, suckered in, that they're scared Samantha might have male parts and all that. But what dismays me is there's not even a willingness to find out. The speed of momentum change from attraction to repulsion, that's pretty shocking and somewhat disheartening. That you can find someone so attractive to the point of saying, damn, you're mighty fine, and then cut the conversation without a goodbye. It flies in the face of how attraction should work. It says a lot about us and a lot that I didn't want to know. Yeah, it's very likely that this feeds into the trans suicide rate. But having said all that, suicidal tendencies could also be part of the condition itself. What we call gender dysmorphia. Trans people report an ever-present feeling of discomfort within their own bodies. Dysmorphia is having an obsessive perception of your body which is out of proportion or different from the physical reality. Anorexia is a type of body dysmorphia whereby the individual sees themselves as overweight and starves themselves to combat the fat. It's a dangerous, deadly condition. If left untreated, anorexics will die of self-imposed starvation, which is actually one of the most painful ways a human can die. When faced with an anorexic, we try to bring their perception back in line with reality. We feed them, schedule and ritualize meals with them, and in severe cases we hook them up to a drip and feed them intravenously. We would never tell an anorexic, yes, you're living your truth, you're a massive fat bitch and need to go on a diet. We cannot risk that scenario, it's harmful and could lead to their death. So when you come with the claim, I was born in the wrong body, you naturally raise more questions than you answer. We call anorexia and trans two types of body dysmorphia. I wouldn't make the mistake of saying that because we've given them similar names that they have to work in exactly the same way. But the reason psychiatry has applied the term dysmorphia to trans is because from the outside, it looks like there's overlap with other types of dysmorphia. Body dysmorphic disorder is not just about trans and anorexic. The recognised mental health condition covers many different kinds of obsessions, be it about skin, hair, fat, muscle, genitalia. According to the Mayo Clinic, if dysmorphia is left untreated, it may get worse over time, leading to anxiety, extensive medical bills, severe depression, and even suicidal thoughts and behaviour. And this is exactly what we've seen in the trans community. The woke reject all forms of philosophy and guidance that came before them. It is the right, maybe even the duty of current generations to question the values of those who came before. That's great, whack away. If that process never happened, we'd not just still have slavery, we'd still be feeding Christians to lions. But in the absence of any previous context, what can it possibly mean when someone says, I was born in the wrong body? You don't believe in God, so it wasn't God who made a mistake or gave you special circumstances to navigate. You don't believe in biological essentialism, so there's really no right or wrong in biology, which would mean you were made right. You just don't like it. You don't believe in the soul, or a mind, body, spirit split, so what exactly is the you inside that body, which is different from the rest of the body? Is your brain at odds with your flesh, and if so, does it not suggest there may be a medical condition present? It isn't enough to say, my lived reality is that I was born the wrong sex, when that very feeling drives almost half your kind to suicide. We don't tell a paranoid schizophrenic that the voices are real. We don't tell someone who is depressed, yeah, everything's shit, we'll never get better. So why is gender dysmorphia being weaponized by the woke as a vanguard of authoritarian control, prescribing speech, thoughts, beliefs and behaviour? Why are we being collectively cajoled into supporting what might be a delusion? The woke are wrong on this. This woman has no eggs, no uterus lining that sheds. Her hormones are steady state because she ingests them artificially. She won't experience cyclical hormonal imbalances.
The bloating, the cramps, the mood swings, the cravings, those are the symptoms that some of us get to experience. Oh, and period poops. Yeah, those are a lot of fun.
We have a duty of care over everyone, including trans people, not to indulge delusion, not to nod and tell the 60-pound anorexic teenager that yes, the diet is getting there, nil by mouth for another 90 days should do it. Here, let's chop the fat right off your body and take knives to her. The science isn't in. Our current level of medicine isn't good enough for us to definitively say whether gender dysmorphic people are delusional or not. Until we get that science in, no, you can't prescribe other people's speech. You cannot expect people and society as a whole to make a decision based on little or no evidence. You can't expect validation on something when we don't know if that thing is going to end up killing you. We can sure as hell stop bullying you, stop sniggering, stop recoiling and all that crap. A lot of the people whose videos I watch actually do have transphobic reactions. There's no two ways about that, and it's a shame that continues. It's largely in our hands to choose whether you get to be as joyful as Dylan or to get to be miserable, more miserable and suicidal than you otherwise might have been. How we react to transgender and their efforts to make it through the day can make a huge difference to their lives. Everyone, yes, we do need to address that as an imperative, I would say. We have been failing and continue to fail these people. There's a fairly famous study in which children in a classroom were told that people with blue eyes were better than people with brown eyes.
Can one teacher in one day change the lives of her students forever?
I mean, the blue-eyed people are the better people in this room. Oh, yes, they are. Blue-eyed people are smarter than brown-eyed people.
My dad isn't that stupid.
Our One day you came to school and you told us that he kicked you.
He did.
Do you think a blue-eyed father would kick his son?
Yep. My
dad's blue-eyed. He's never kicked me. Greg's dad is blue-eyed. He's never kicked him. Rex's dad is blue-eyed. He's never kicked him. This is a fact. Blue-eyed people are better than brown-eyed people.
Brown-eyed children were told they weren't good enough to play with the blue-eyed children, and that they couldn't use equipment in the playground or the water fountain. The children responded to this. Brown-eyed children not only accepted the role, but went on to be clumsy and stupid, while the blue-eyed children acted superior to them. The following day, the teacher told the children there'd been a mistake. It wasn't blue-eyed people that were better, but brown-eyed people.
Yesterday, I told you that brown-eyed people aren't as good as blue-eyed people. That wasn't true. I lied to you yesterday. The truth is that brown-eyed people are better than blue-eyed people. Russell, where are your glasses?
I forgot him.
You forgot them, and what color are your eyes?
Blue.
Susan Ginder has brown eyes. She didn't forget her glasses. Russell Ring has blue eyes, and what about his glasses?
He forgot them.
He forgot them. Yesterday we were visiting and Greg said, "Boy, I like to hit my little sister as hard as I can. That's fun." What does that tell you about blue-eyed people?
Despite living the same way just 24 hours earlier, these children went on to inhabit the new roles in the same way. Blue-eyed children started losing their intelligence, being clumsy, while the brown-eyed children took on the traits of superiority. Young and impressionable isn't something we blurt out when we want to disregard something that a child has to say. It's a universal state of being for children. What you'll also find is that if children can gain any kind of status or leverage, they will quickly do so. They're adapting to the world in which they find themselves and learning to get ahead, so if they see preferential treatment for trans pupils, they will put themselves in that bracket. We know that 10% of the population is gay, and for the most part, if you think back to school, you tend to know who they were. Statistically speaking, in a class of 20 children, you'd have one girl and one boy who were gay. Probably in most cases, one of them was a quiet girl and the other a soft boy who ran with his wrists bent. I know woke world will chastise me for buying into stereotypes because I said that, but I have a good reason. And that is to point out everyone can spot a certain number of markers for homosexuality.
It's the BAFTAs tonight! It's the BAFTAs! The glamour, the excitement, the length.
Hello, Julian. Good to see you. How's it hanging?
Oh, very well, thank you. Very nice of you to recreate hamster teeth for me here.
Do you know what pisses me off? When people say, "Can I try your glasses on?" And then when you put them on, they go, "Oh, how can you see through this?" That... No. They're my glasses.
So you got shits in Mexico?
Yeah.
How did you get it? Did you eat something dodgy?
Well, it's called Montezuma's Revenge. It's like particles in the air. Everyone gets it. And I was up this Inca trail, and and it came out.
The sophistication of people's gaydar varies, with of course the gay people being themselves the best at it. But there's a level of obviousness which allows straight people to recognise homosexuality as well. Except the children I'm talking about, the ones you remember in your classroom, they weren't gay. They were carrying the markers for that sexuality, but the sexuality itself would not come into play until they went through puberty. Until the kids hit puberty and start to have sexual feelings, it's not possible for them to be gay. So when you pick up the markers for trans and start encouraging children into gender reassignment, you might be picking up homosexual markers in a child that is many, many years from actuating what those markers actually mean. Children also go through phases. Plenty of girls have a tomboy phase. Little boys might wear dresses for a while. This doesn't mean that they are due to become body dysmorphic. It's just some stuff that kids do as they explore the world. Gender reassignment surgery for children means a genital mutilation, breast reduction or augmentation, puberty blockers, potentially a lifetime of hormone treatments. According to the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Health Disorders, 5th edition, gender dysphoria prevalence accounts for 0.005 to 0.014% of the population for biological males and 0.002 to 0.003% for biological females. So unlike homosexuality, where you'd have one future gay kid for every 10 children, you would expect to meet 200 children before you find even one with gender dysphoria. So why are we teaching the entire school that they can be any gender they choose, especially when this claim isn't true? The woke would have it that gender is a social construct and it doesn't exist outside of ideas and cultural baggage. That being the case, then there would be no male or female as such, just people on a spectrum of human personality traits. Here, look, we can have all the feminine traits on one end and masculine on the other, and it wouldn't matter if someone had a cock or a pussy, they would just be somewhere on the human spectrum. I can tip it up and inform the patriarchy, or tip the other way and have a matriarchy. Let's keep them equal for now. That being the case, why would anyone need gender reassignment? If there's no male or female on this spectrum, why would you need to leap from one to the other? You would be at your place in the flat spectrum with no need to leap anywhere. This is a cultural and philosophical cul-de-sac. According to the woke, gender is a social construct which doesn't really exist, and yet the woke are the ones who are obsessed with gender. I sort of wonder why we don't view it like this anyway. See, I like this because it's a shame that soft boys and tough girls have traditionally been bullied. I think it says something about our historical religion. It says something about our intolerance. There's something a bit weird and chimp-like about how people get trashed for being different. I'm sure we can do better than this. But I'm also sure that the headlong rush into telling kids that they can be any gender they want when that's physically untrue, that the matter of gender dysphoria isn't settled in any satisfactory way, rushing in like this to mishandle the kids, encourage them to express mental health disorders that they don't have, tell them surgery is fine when in fact puberty blockers can have a lasting effect. I have something by the Tavistock Institute in 2020. So this is not cherry-picked data, this comes from the people who are at the cutting edge of gender reassignment treatment. The Tavistock was shut down for overdiagnosing gender dysphoria and has been replaced or rebranded as the Gender Identity Clinic. According to the Tavistock Institute, puberty blockers can have effects that last long after the course of treatment has finished, on growth, height, bone density, lung capacity. In other words, it's causing some people to go into adulthood with permanently juvenile organs. On top of this, reassignment surgery itself is cosmetic at best. A trans woman will never have ovaries, a womb, periods. They will never get pregnant. They will never ever have the genetic base of XX chromosomes common to biological women. The physical reality is that you cannot change sex with current technology. You can only approximate outer characteristics, and to maintain cross-gender hormones, you will need to take medicine for the rest of your life. When you petition for using female toilets, you don't understand why society is saying no. It's not about the trans community. It's about sex predators. It's not you we're concerned about. It's the people who would take advantage of your protections to enter women-only spaces for pervy, peeping or worse reasons. It's happening already, so it'll only get worse if we throw the doors of female toilets open to anyone wearing a dress. You only see one aspect of this situation.
Just please don't call the police on me if we bump into each other in the bathroom.
It's not about you, Dylan. I get that you're no threat to women. You, Samantha, any of you who were genuinely dysmorphic and underwent reassignment and went on to live more fulfilled lives. It's not you who are the problem. The change you want to see in society, you don't know what it's like. To be permanently charged with testosterone, you have no idea the level of sexual violence a man can go to if he simply lacks impulse control. If he's got antisocial behavioural problems as well. These are the guys that women need protection from. These guys will be first in the female toilets. Feminists talk about rape culture. Well, you'll see rape culture. It'll walk right in through the toilet door if you let just anyone with a dress go into female-only safe spaces. It's not people with gender dysmorphia we're worried about. It's kinksters, fetishists, guys who are walking around hard because of the nylons on their legs. And worst of all, guys who would use the extra seconds of chance afforded by a disguise to snatch a child from the toilets. It takes a full-grown man 2 seconds to overpower a child and less than 30 seconds to drag them out of sight. Men aren't allowed in these spaces because their size and strength make them a threat to women and girls who are there. You're trying to cast an umbrella of acceptance over the trans community, but of the people who turn up to use female toilets, some of them will be mentally ill, some of them very mentally ill, and some of them dangerously mentally ill. On top of that, regardless of whether someone is a sex offender in a dress or a genuine trans, if they look threatening and act threatening, women are biologically hardwired to play it safe. They will be frightened. Not all trans women are beautiful, stylish and convincing as the likes of Samantha looks.
Go ahead, buckaroo, because they won't do a damn thing. When I tell them I'm a trans woman, they'll say okay and they'll leave me alone. You want to know why? Because it's legal in my state as a trans woman to use the bathroom I identify with. Now come at me with another comment, honey bunches of oats.
It's not a question of if, it's a question of when and how many attacks there are going to be if we make this change. And while there are big, aggressive, masculine-looking trans in these spaces, then women and girls will never feel safe. The reality is they will never be safe. If I could make a final judgment on these things, this would be it. I know you're not going to like this outcome, but there's a greater care of duty to be observed here. Our spineless government officials are too chicken to make adult decisions like this, but this is what the evidence supports, and this is what genuinely responsible leaders would have laid down in law. 1. Leave the kids alone. There are too many markers for development, temporary phase or homosexuality that can be mistaken as trans ahead of puberty. Don't assign mental health disorders to perfectly healthy children, and definitely don't be treating them. Gender reassignment doesn't belong in the classroom. Nobody should take a decision like that until they're adults and can make an informed choice. And number 2, female public toilets, changing rooms, etc. should be off limits to the trans community. I won't propose a solution, but this is a King Solomon moment where a judgment is made that the baby should be cut in half. In full holding of these facts, the people who will still want to go into women-only spaces are the ones who shouldn't be there. This is what I mean by judgment. Like every court case, every day, one party feels justice is done while the other isn't happy with the result. It's painful you lose in this case, but it is for the greater good.